Hey, what's going on everybody? As you've probably already read from the title, this video is going to be about my Dell XPS 15 replacement. If you're not entirely sure about what I'm talking about, then you can watch my previous video on why I returned my Dell XPS 15 2020, which I'll put in the card in the top right of the video. So, which laptop did I get to replace my Dell XPS 15? Well, here it is, the Razer Blade 15 Advanced Model 2020. So let's just get the specs of the machine out of the way first. The spec of this Razer Blade is quite a big step up in almost every single way from my Dell XPS 15. Starting with the display, we have a 300Hz 1080p panel which is 16:9 ratio, with an Intel Core 10th generation 10875H, an NVIDIA RTX 2070 Supermax Q, 512GB of NVMe SSD storage and 16GB of DDR4 memory. So apart from the RAM and storage, this machine is a pretty substantial upgrade over the XPS 15. Of course, you'd probably think that the Razer Blade is probably more expensive, and you're right. This Razer Blade 15 was purchased at 3,499 SGD, whereas the Dell XPS 15 which I have now returned was about 2,779 SGD. So the specs definitely came at an increase in price. But why did I choose this specific Razer Blade model to replace my Dell XPS 15? I'll be answering that in the next part of the video. So firstly, why did I choose a Blade 15 and not a Blade Stealth? I wanted a laptop that was as close as possible to what the XPS 15 was, which meant that I wanted a relatively thin and light 15-inch laptop. I also wanted the features that many 15-inch laptops tend to enjoy over their 13-inch counterparts, such as upgradable storage and memory. Next, why did I choose the Blade 15 Advanced over the Blade 15 base model or base edition? This is a more lengthy response, so I'll break it down to a few reasons. Firstly, USBC charging, an SD card reader, thinner build, better cooling and generally more power. So starting with USB-C charging. The Razer Blade 15 Advanced model comes with support for up to 100 watts of USB-C charging. This may not be a big deal to some people, but my tech life pretty much revolves around USB-C. Those of you who have watched my other videos will know how much I love USB Type-C, so the option to have USB-C charging was a big plus to me to get the advanced model over the two other models. Another reason included in the USB-C reason is portability. The included power brick that comes with all of the Razer Blade 15 models are really chunky and heavy. It is not a power brick that you'd want to bring around everywhere with you. This is on top of you having to already carry around a 15-inch laptop instead of a 13-inch, so the ability to bring a smaller USB charger out, like my old 65W MacBook charger to charge my Razer Blade, was a big plus for me. However, it must be stated that the Razer Blade 15 is a very powerful machine for a laptop, and will thus use a lot of power as well if you are gaming or doing intensive tasks on it. That is why Razer ships a proprietary 230W power brick with your Blade 15. But if you're out and about, like at the Starbucks or going to school, it's unlikely that you'd be gaming anyways or you'd be doing tasks that are very intense. So a 65W or even a 100W USB-C charger, which is much more portable, should be more than sufficient to trickle charge your laptop or at least prevent the battery from draining too fast. Moving on to the next reason, SD card reader. The Dell XPS 15 had a full-sized SD card reader which was great. For the Razer Blade 15 series, only the Blade 15 Advanced model has a full-sized SD card reader on the right side of the laptop. This along with USB-C charging were my top two reasons for going with the Blade 15 Advanced model over the base edition or base model. The Blade 15 Advanced model is also the thinnest model of the three Blade 15 models that you can buy. The Blade 15 base edition is 20.5mm or 0.81 inches thick. The Blade 15 base model is 19.9mm or 0.78 inches thick, and the Blade 15 Advanced model is 17.8mm or 0.7 inches thick. This was honestly not too important to me, but it was nice to know that the Blade 15 Advanced model was the thinnest of the three. However, there is a very interesting thing here which kind of contradicts the thinness of the laptops. The Blade 15 Advanced model is actually the heaviest Blade model of the three, followed by the Blade 15 base model being the second heaviest, and then the Blade 15 base edition being the lightest model. So the weight of these laptops are kind of inversely proportionate to their thickness, which is kind of weird. But there is a reason for this, and this leads me to cooling and performance. The Blade 15 Advanced is the heaviest of the three because of one main reason, a vapor chamber cooling system. Now for those of you who don't know what a vapor chamber cooling system is, I'll have a good video linked in the description below explaining what a vapor chamber is. But essentially, it is a copper enclosure, kind of like a thin tank that contains droplets of water inside. What happens is when the CPU or GPU heats it up, the water droplets in the warm part of the vapor chamber cooling system will absorb the heat and evaporate. The evaporated vapor then travels to a cooler part of the chamber naturally and cools down again, and then condenses into a water droplet. This whole process repeats itself to help cool the CPU and GPU passively. The fans in the laptop also help to increase the cooling efficiency in an active manner. What I've just described was more of a copper heat pipe, but essentially a vapor chamber is a larger and a bit more complex version of a copper heat pipe. Fun fact, those of you who use a high-end Android phone, there's a high chance that your phone has a copper heat pipe in it right now, which is kind of like a mini vapor chamber as I explained. So generally, better cooling leads to better performance, especially in a laptop that is so thin and light. I didn't run any benchmarks, but it is still good to have a vapor chamber cooling system nonetheless. Okay, but the big question which I know someone is probably asking is, why Razer? And I get it, cause there are many other great 15-inch relatively thin and light laptops out there to choose from. But to be honest, I can't give you a definite answer as to why I chose the Razer Blade 15 Advanced model over all the other 15-inch laptops out there. But I'll just say this, the overall package of the Blade 15 Advanced is what compelled me to get a Razer Blade over the other 15-inch laptops. It's an overall complete package because it checks so many boxes. A premium design and well-built Windows laptop, a relatively powerful laptop in a relatively thin and light chassis, decent battery life, high refresh rate display, good keyboard and trackpad, USBC charging, an SD card reader. There are just so many things about the Blade 15 Advanced which checks so many boxes and compelled me to get the Blade 15 Advanced instead of all the other 15-inch laptops out there. There are obviously things about the Blade 15 Advanced that I didn't like, such as the 16:9 display rather than 16:10 display. But I can't really complain about this too much now because there aren't many 16:10 high refresh rate panels out there yet. So I guess Razer was kind of stuck with a 16:9 panel anyways. The few quirks and things that I dislike about this laptop are just that minor that I don't really care too much, or they don't really offend me that much because, well, the laptop checks so many boxes as well. So yeah, that is why I chose the Razer Blade 15 Advanced Model 2020 as my replacement for the Dell XPS 15 9500 2020. There are other cool features about the Razer Blade 15 lineup in general which got me to choose the Blade 15 as my replacement laptop. For example, the Blade 15 Advanced in particular comes with an RGB keyboard which I don't really care about to be honest, but it is cool to have. This isn't a single zone RGB like the base model. You can customize every single key's RGB on the Blade 15 Advanced. Other cool features that Razer Blades do enjoy are things such as Razer Synapse, which is a relatively useful software and I wouldn't consider it bloatware. So, I hope after this video you understand why I chose the Razer Blade 15 2020, the advanced model, as my replacement laptop. Now I am aware of the whole story and reports of Razer having poor quality control as well, and how many Razer laptops tend to break pretty early in their life. But so far my Razer Blade 15 Advanced hasn't had any problems so far. I mean, I've only been using it for about a few weeks, so I pray that nothing happens. But yeah, other than the whole quality control issue, the laptop has been pretty good so far. Now I am aware that there are other 15-inch laptops out there that I could have chosen from, such as the HP Spectre X360-15, and Asus ROG G14 or G15, and Acer Swift 5 and so on. But those laptops tend to miss one or two features that I felt were really important to me, such as USB-C charging, a more powerful graphics card, or upgradability. For example, the X360-15 has a really good looking design for the outside and is also pretty premium. It also has upgradable memory and storage, but here is the main problem. It is pretty pricey for the specs and I pretty much cannot find it anywhere as well. So even if I wanted to get the X360, it simply wasn't available and the value proposition was also worse anyways. This kind of scenario of having one or two things that were considered deal breakers for me pretty much occurred for most of the other 15-inch laptops that I was considering. So that's been it. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you disliked it, do give it a thumbs down. And let me know down in the comment section what I can do to improve my YouTube videos and what you'd like to see in the future as well. Do get subscribed as it really helps this channel a lot, and share this video if you found this very informative or interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.